Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from legalized weed to the dirtiest deed. With over 2 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is Mikey, the audio engineer.
Hey, Maddox.
And as always, my first hand on staff moderator, Rucka Ali.
Hey, dude.
Welcome back to the show. Always good to be back in the Madcast Media Studios. Off to a wonderful hitch-free start this week. If we had to theme this episode, I think at the beginning it would be technical difficulties, but that's okay. But today we're going to talk about the debate. Should we allow algorithmic censorship? Big debate, big question. This is a question that people, I don't think in the past, our forefathers have ever had to think about. Then we'll round out the show with some headlines as always, but first, please welcome to the show our guest this week, writer, comedian, and wrestler, Leroy Patterson. Leroy, welcome to the show.
Good to be here.
Leroy, you've had about 1 billion cameos in horror movies, right? And that's how we met. We met on the set of Ooga Booga.
Yeah, I think we may have met at Comic-Con before that.
Oh, at Comic-Con before, that's right. That's right,
our booths were very close to each other.
That's correct.
That's how that all happened.
Yeah, and I've known Leroy for a long time now, and Leroy is one of the most interesting, and I'm not blowing sunshine up your ass, you're one of the most interesting and talented people I know, because on top of all these things, like Leroy has a pretty beefy IMDb page. If you look at all the movies he's been in, he's had cameos. You did a voice for Animation Domination HD for Fox.
Oh, yeah. I worked there as an editor for a year.
Yeah.
And then there would be times where they'd be like, oh, shit, we didn't hire anyone to play the demiurge or anything. I'd be like, I'll do it. And then to run into the sound booth and be like, you will fight together. And just like whatever. And then they're like, oh, that's great. Yeah, let's use it. Or like my temp tracks would get used sometimes.
Yeah. And Leroy looks like an intimidating motherfucker too, by the way. So, but he's like a teddy bear, right? And when you meet him, you meet him and he's all jolly and just like fun to be around. But then you see him on camera in some of these horror movies, like, oh yeah, that guy looks like fucking psycho as shit. But speaking of psycho as shit, you do this freak show wrestling, right? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Freak show wrestling's great. It's pro wrestling, it's the traditional thing, but tiled up to 32. It's insane. We have a giant octopus will attack the ring sometimes during battle royals, and it's 12-foot tentacles come out from underneath the ring, and we're brawling with it. So
holy shit!
Seeing people like Jake the Snake wrestle a giant chicken, or like God or something is oh man.
This sounds amazing, and it's not fake at all.
Couldn't say it with a straight face, could you? No, okay. I'm totally okay with saying it's choreographed and worked out.
Yeah.
But dude, people hit you so hard in the ring.
Of course.
Like, okay, listen to my jaw.
Oh.
That's because some guy just hit me. It's just it happens.
Shit,
people hit you hard.
Oh my gosh! Did that pick up Mikey on mic? Did we have that? Holy shit! So that was Leroy's jaw. What is it dislocating? What's happening there?
Yeah, I don't know. I never went to the doctor for it because who cares?
Now,
but
now here's the thing. I did a wrestling podcast a while back, and we talked about this whole criticism of wrestling. It's like, oh, it's fake. But then those same idiots will go to a movie. They'll go watch X-Men. Like,
well, that was real.
Yeah. Oh, that's no criticism that it's fake there, huh, idiots? The thing is, wrestling at this point, at this stage, it's not done under the pretense of it being real. Nobody believes that. Nobody thinks that. We're not children anymore. Mm. We all know what we're watching. But the hits are real. And that's more real than anything you see in a movie.
Yeah, and it totally depends on who you're working with as well.
Yeah.
Because the whole mentality is, it doesn't matter how hard someone hits you. You just have to be able to take it.
Right.
Someone like me, I'm not out there to hurt people. So I try to make my hits look good and not hit as hard as I can just because I don't want to hurt anyone.
Right.
But some people will just straight out deck you in the face. And as long as it looks good, no one is bothered by it.
Right, of course. And one other thing I want to mention, and this is something you're pretty famous for, you got a lot of notoriety, is you were on America's Got Talent, right?
Correct.
And this was an amazing clip because you made it on to round 2.
Right.
You're stunned. Do you want to set it up, what you did?
Sure. So I go out there, I strip down to my underwear and spill 5,000 thumbtacks on the floor and then dive into it multiple times. I headbutt them, I punch them. Good family entertainment.
Yeah, and this is what you did on America's Got Talent. First of all, I can't believe that they aired this.
I was shocked.
And second, I can't believe that you went on to the second round. Howard Stern loved you.
Yeah, I was blown away. I was expecting Howard Stern to like it. I thought Howie Mandel may have liked it, but I thought the girls would have hated it.
Yeah.
And so I figured it was just going to be a one and done thing. I go out there, they make fun of me. I'm an idiot. It's my usual reality show fare. I go out there and make an ass of myself. And then, I don't come back. And that's just how it is. And I was okay with it. And I was shocked.
Yeah, here's the clip. I brought a clip in. Listen to this.
This is going to be blood for sure.
Hold on 1 second. We got some guys in white coats are coming. Right on stage. Take you off.
You got something stuck up here. I don't love this one bit.
Howard, what did you think?
I don't know what to think. You know what? My mother's like...
So he went on to say, yeah, let's give him a pass. Let's send him to the next round. And then you went on to do this on an international version of America's Got Talent, right?
I did Germany's Got Talent.
Germany's Got Talent.
And then Tu sais que Valais, which is the Italian kind of America's Got Talent. It's not part of that branding.
Sure, it's not French. That sounds French.
It's amazing how all these countries around the world want to find the greatest American talent.
They're all looking for the best American talent.
All of these shows though, have been on for 12 seasons now, so you've run out of talent in America. So you know you've got to pull in it like Kinchi Abino, who won season 8, I think.
Yeah, America's Got Talent. Amazing. Tokyo Drift coming to a. Yeah.
But I think the only reason I was able to go to the other ones is because I'm not really talking. My act isn't like comedy or singing or anything like that. It's just violence that not many people are doing it. There's a few people out there who do similar stuff, but
well, it's super entertaining to watch, and you take it like a champ. Leroy's a badass. So, and one other thing I want to mention, you work for the media company Giphy. Have you guys heard of Giphy? Mikey, you know about Giphy, right?
I've heard of Giphy.
Mikey.
I'm a Giphy man.
Yes. He is a Giphy man. That's right. That checks out.
Is that a peanut butter?
No, it's not a peanut butter. So, okay, you work for Giphy.
Yeah.
How do you guys pronounce it?
How do you pronounce Giphy?
Giphy.
Yeah, GIF.
Amen.
Done.
That's right.
Done.
We're never going to have that debate.
we talked about.
We actually talked about doing that. Yeah. Because so, Leroy, what do you do for Giphy?
So I'm the senior video editor over at Giphy. So what I do is anytime we get branded material, anytime we get we did some stuff for like a NBC Superstore.
Right.
And so we had all the actors come in, recorded them on a green screen, and made GIFs of them interacting with each other in a show environment. And then those ended up playing at the World Trade Center's like giant screens that they have. They have these, it's almost like a football field size screen. And they all interacted with each other. So I do a lot of the crazy video editing, or a lot of times we'll get a still image from some brand and be like, make a cool GIF out of this. And then so I go through and animate it and make it do something cool for, GIF style. And
it's very cool.
Yeah.
And so that's how they monetize their platform, right? Is by branded content, that sort of thing. And you said NBC Superstore?
Yeah.
We may have, I know Colton Dunn, who's on that show. Yeah, Colton's a good guy. We'll try to get him on the show at some point. But we should move on to the debate from last week. Leroy, last week, it was 420.
Woo.
And we discussed whether or not pot should be legalized. It was a very contentious debate on the show, but not according to the audience, because with an 86% vote, they voted yes.
Oh.
Wow, big fucking surprise there, idiots. Bunch of stoners in the bunch of potheads in the audience. And then I asked another question. The second poll question last week was, have you pre-ordered my book? And 60% of the audience said yes. Yeah,
liars.
That's fantastic. No, because you know what, Leroy, the second part of that question was yes, more than one copy, and that was 40%. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Shit.
All right, that works out.
Wow.
Fantastic. I love this audience. 60% bought one copy, 40% bought more than one copy. Fantastic. I love it. I love this audience. But speaking of the audience, I've got so much voicemail. Here's one about our guest from last week and the debate specifically, because it was kind of it got contentious at times, but here's this caller. I don't think he liked it very much. Listen to this.
Hey, man, I just wanted to call in and say that I don't want to be a slave to a system that enforces drug laws, stuff like that. So I'm going to turn myself over to some shitty green plant, man, and I'm going to live that lifestyle. Fuck a stoner. Punch a stoner right in the fucking face.
Ooh. Ouch.
Shots fired.
They probably won't fight back, though.
No, they won't fight back.
Yeah.
They have no motivation. I do need to make a little correction, though. So one of the big arguments we had last week was about whether or not alcohol is more dangerous than weed. Clearly, alcohol causes more problems, but it's also more legal. It's more readily available, so you have to control for that variable. But also, someone sent me a statistic, and this is kind of interesting. I think in Colorado, since they have legalized pot, I think car accidents have gone down by about 10%. And it's not because people are safer or they're driving safer. The reason is because they lose motivation to leave the house.
Yeah, they're not going anywhere.
So that's what it is.
It's an ends to a means, it works.
Yeah, but speaking of weed versus alcohol, listen to this guy.
Man, you guys are fucking idiots. Just listen to the 420 episode. A lot of good points made, a lot of shitty points made. I just can't see how you guys could gloss over the fact that, marijuana is this drug that makes you more sensitive, more aware, more comfortable. Yeah, paranoia and all that, but for the most part, I don't get those effects. While alcohol turns you into a slumbering fucking mess of a person, just shambling around, making a fool of yourself. I just don't see how you guys can't see that marijuana is a way better drug than alcohol. To each his own, but fuck you all.
All right, you know what?
Everything in moderation's fine.
Yeah.
There you go, Mikey. Everything in moderation.
And everybody's different. It's always different. Yeah, if you're having a party and you want people to get out of their shell, you'd rather them have a couple shots rather than everyone smoke pot and just sit back and sink into the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pot is the perfect party drug if you want the party to stop, I think, right? Is that
Really
right? Is that
chill
true?
out.
Wind
Or
down.
just chill out, just
Relax.
slow down? Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and like heroin, if there's too many people at the party and you want to kill a few of them off,
Heroin.
bring out some OxyContin, some heroin.
Yeah.
That shit. I mean, meth. Well, no, meth will kind of get the party started, but like maybe
Pre-party.
the next time around, less
Yeah.
people will be able to accept the invitation.
You're the drug party planner.
Yeah. I by the way, anybody listening, you got a bar mitzvah, a bachelor party coming up? Hit me up.
Birthday parties, anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But speaking of everything in moderation, we only have one.
Douchebag of the week.
That's right, douchebag of the week.
That
was
guy?
douchebag. Yeah.
Oh,
Nah, I
yeah.
don't know.
He did say fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, fuck you.
It
then.
wasn't that egregious. But speaking of, let's listen to this next caller because this guy liked your wrap up, Rucka. Listen to this.
Oh shit.
After that last Rucka wrap-up on episode 46, I gotta say, Rucka, I've got a whole new respect for you, honestly, man. Shit. Anyway, Rucka, you're a wonderful man, you know that? I like your style, friend. Maddox, I love you. And Mikey, I love you too, buddy. Later.
Just a loving, gushing praise voicemail. Now, here's the thing. He did go on. That was like another 3-minute long fucking voicemail, but I have to trim some of these down, guys. And then speaking of trimming down, we might have to call a temporary hiatus on anything pizza related or Domino's related. It has been a long running theme on the show, but this week I don't know why it's just built momentum, and I got so many fucking calls about Domino's, and I'm gonna play a bunch of these. Starting with this one. Listen to this guy. He seems to think that Domino's sucks, and living in California, we're very fortunate because there's a certain brand of pizza that we have out here. Listen to this.
All right, listen up, you fucking cucks. Maddox, if you fucking live in Los Angeles, there's only one fucking pizza that you should be ordering from a fucking pizza chain. And that is motherfucking California Pizza Kitchen. CPK, motherfuckers. Domino's can suck my fucking dick. Fuck Little Caesars and fuck you for even thinking that, Rucka, you fucking dumb fucker, Rucka Ali. Of course he's shit pizza from Little Caesars. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? Go get some good goddamn pizza at CPK, bitches!
Okay, all right. First off, I don't make it a habit of arguing with inanimate voicemails, but listen, first off, let's be very clear. California pizza does not, like, nobody eats it in California other than tourists visiting here who are so fucking inbred and out of touch that they see a California pizza kitchen and they think it's only in California. They're like, oh boy, hey, we're in California. It's like going to fucking Italy and eating at Olive Garden. So that's first off. Second off, when the fuck, I challenge you, I will literally fucking give you all the money made from Maddox's next book. I will give you if you can find the time I said anything positive about Little Skeezers. I hate that fucking place. By the way, spoiler alert, we've got some cameras set up here, and the reason I'm a little bit uncomfortable is because it reminds me of when I worked at Little Skeezers right out of high school. Yes, this was my job in high school and right after high school. They installed cameras in Little Skeezers, so they can better monitor us handing these shitty $5 hot and sloppy pizzas over to the ingrateful, ignorant, low expectation having customers. Now, they installed cameras. Oh, we gotta make sure everything's good. They videotaped me and my coworker leaving out the back door. And that's you don't leave out the back door at Little Skeezers. That's a sure way for a robber to break in, grab a giant bag of mozzarella cheese, and take it home to feed his family. So they called me down to the Little Skeezers headquarters. There's like a fucking downtown Detroit. There's a fucking statue of the Caesar with the spear and the pizzas on it, and it says like pizza, and we go down there, and it's like the whole fucking street is owned by Mike Ilitch, rest his soul, and they brought me into this fucking boardroom. This guy, he like left the door cracked a little bit, and he was like, okay, like he wouldn't tell me why I was there. He was like, long story short, he just fucking coerced me into like admitting I did something wrong. It was like some fucking Soviet style bullshit. Anyway, I'm no longer affiliated with Little Skeezers at this time. I am not promoting them, and I'm not a fan. And if a crazy caller guy thinks that I'm a fan of Little Skeezers, I would suggest he's not paying attention.
Yeah, I think the first hint would have been the fact that you consistently called it Little Skeezers the entire time. And that is somebody who's worked in the industry. Like computer programmers, if they have a beef with Microsoft, they call it micro shit. Yeah. Or if you know, whatever platform, whatever industry you're in, you use that, Crapple for Apple. Anyway, moving on. Here's another call about...
We didn't get that shit from Papa John's, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, Papa John's gives everyone diarrhea. It gives everyone diarrhea.
It's worth it.
Number one exporter of diarrhea.
Oh, you mean because they put real vegetables on it that helps shit run a little smoother through your system? Doesn't stick to your fucking arteries like the cardboard at Domino's?
It's not fucking cardboard. You know what? Listen to this guy, Rucka, because last week you made a ridiculous, outrageous statement about how you think that gay people prefer pizza that is not Domino's. You're wrong. Listen to this guy. Listen to this.
Let's hear
As
this
a
guy.
classic gay person, I like Domino's, and I hate McDonald's. McDonald's is fucking shitty. Fuck you, Rucka.
Fuck you, Rucka. Punch a Nazi. And it wasn't a guy. First,
okay. I was gonna say we don't take callers from gay 9-year-olds. So it's a woman. It's a lesbian. It's a lesbian.
That's gay.
Lesbians and gays are not always the same. Okay, gay men tend to be very classy, well dressed, high expectation having members of society. Okay, lesbians can go either way. Many of them are also very, very classy, very high society,
stylish, good tasting, pizza.
Good pizza eating, artsy people. Yeah. And one or two of them may be mad at the world and a little bit crazy. Those are the ones eating Domino's.
Okay, so you're saying that didn't count because I was a lesbian? No. Okay, well here's another caller. Listen to this.
Hello, my name is Shiki, and I'm calling from Japan. I'm calling because in last episode, I think, Roka said something along the lines that no gay people will eat Domino's. Well, I'm gay and I love Domino's, and not only that, my boyfriend actually lives in another city, and each time I go to visit my boyfriend, it has kind of become a tradition to go to Domino's, and I'm not kidding. The reason is because in the city I'm at right now, there is no Domino's, and I love Domino's. So I told him one time that we should go to Domino's, and he had never had Domino's. And we went there, we eat it, and he loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah, gay people actually like Domino's.
Yeah. Gay people love Domino's.
Listen,
there you go.
I can admit when I was wrong. Yeah, okay. I mean, some might point out the fact that Domino's in Japan serves you noodles, but that's not the point. The point is, here's a gay, just the average gay guy calling in who says, I like Domino's and I'm gay.
Rucka, you had a classic gay lesbian calling it, a classic lesbian. And then you had two gay guys, basically, that guy and his boyfriend, and they say they love Domino's. Their favorite thing is Domino's.
I mean, the numbers don't lie, so I stand corrected.
All right, here's another call. And there was also an allegation about Domino's doing gay conversion therapy. Listen to this.
Oh my God. I'm so glad you guys were talking about the Domino's gay conversion therapy, because now I can finally tell my story. I'm a man who used to hate Domino's pizza and be straight. But thanks to Domino's gay conversion therapy, I now love the sausage on my wonderful Domino's pizza and in my butt.
Yeah. There you go.
All right.
That's three gay callers.
Yeah.
Here's another call. So a couple of episodes ago, we had a wonderful care package sent by a listener, Genevieve from Australia. And even she called to weigh in on Domino's. Listen to this. Here's Genevieve.
Hey guys, it's Genevieve calling from Australia. The reason I'm calling is because I wanted to weigh into the Domino's pizza debate. So when I lived in Cambridge, I ordered Domino's like every week, and it was no shit the best fucking pizza I've eaten in such a long time. It had like the thickest, spiciest motherfucking jalapenos. It was so good. And that sauce, fuck me, it was delicious. I can definitely confirm that at least in Australia and the United Kingdom, Domino's is the shit. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. I'm just gonna go and order a pizza right now. Anyway, take care, guys. I hope you're well and you're enjoying my lovely care package. Chat soon, fucking Nazi. Bye.
There you go. Wow. That call was steamy. Holy shit. Are you kidding me?
I mean, I stand corrected once again. I mean, some would say, hey, what works in Cambridge isn't necessarily going to work for us here in the USA. I gotta hand it to that caller. She really put me in my place.
Yeah, I think all the callers did this week with the Domino's debate. Leroy was shaking his head crazy. I'm going to play this for Leroy.
Trigger.
Because you did seem triggered, buddy. What happened? You're shaking your head like a madman over here. You disagree with the Domino's?
No, I am not a big fan of Domino's.
Not a big fan?
No, I usually don't go there. If I'm going to order pizza, it's got to be like Papa John's or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that fucking real pizza.
Because all of my diarrhea or all of my poop is diarrhea, so it doesn't matter.
There you go.
But if I truly want a good pizza, you got to go to like a mom and pop place. Like there's Pizza Time in Downey. There's Rio's Pizzas. There's like.
But you know what though? That's not always true because I've been to some mom and pop places and they're mom and pop places that suck and making whatever.
Oh, of course.
There was a sandwich place that I really, really wanted to support back in Utah, and their sandwiches were just garbage. They made shit sandwiches. Mm-hmm. They didn't know how do you fuck up a sandwich? It's basically three things: put a fucking veggie, a base of veggies. Either tomatoes or lettuce. All right, you're already
veggies.
no veggies. Okay, then meat.
Chip.
Okay, and then cheese and then some kind of like sandwiches is the easiest thing to do. And this family consistently fucked up sandwiches. I'm like, I'm done. I'm going to Subway.
Well, why'd you keep going back?
To support it's like a little mom and pop shop. Oh, let's go. They do it better. They don't always do it better.
Not always, no. But if you find a place that does, like, hold on to it.
Yeah, of course. But the other thing with mom and pop shops is like. They're not that good because if they were, they'd franchise, they'd branch off a lot of times.
Oh wow, Mr. Big Business over here. When did you turn into fucking Glenn Beck?
Yeah, maybe they just put all their energy and effort into one place, and then they have just one beautiful little dome of happiness.
Fuck it, not
maybe
worth it.
The exceptionally good mom and pop shops, aka Papa John's, they do grow and become a bigger franchise that everybody loves.
Papa John,
Mom and Papa John shop.
Yeah,
I hate that I have to call that guy Papa.
Yeah, Papa John, such a relatable, real mom and pop. That guy who lives on a 40,000 square foot mansion
with his family,
and lions and naked slaves. Naked.
If I could have lions as part of my family, I'd be there.
Well, okay, that's fair. We all would, but still,
I'm sorry, Maddox. Is he too successful? Should his pizza be called a utility and everyone gets it for free now?
All right, here's one last call. This is from our very own Lord Matthew, who has a podcast on this network, Game Fart. You guys should check it out. It's amazing. But here's what Lord Matthew says.
Hey, Lord Matthew from Game Fart here. Great episode. I don't do drugs myself, don't enjoy them. And I think, Rucker, your wrap-up was pretty much perfect this week. But you missed out the most important and obvious reason to make drugs legal, for legalization. And that's, I mean, you don't really need all of this government conspiracy stuff when you're saying, the government, they're making drugs illegal to try and oppress us all. You don't need that. What you actually need is just one simple ethical stance, which is this. The government, who are people in an office far away, they should not be banning feelings. There should not be someone in an office that can say, you know what, there's this feeling and we want to ban it. You're not allowed to feel that feel. That feel isn't for you. If you have that feeling, we're going to send you to jail. No, stop banning my inner thoughts and my inner feelings. That's not right. That's total bullshit. You shouldn't be banning feelings. So that's my stance on that one. Oh, and the John Wayne stuff, completely true. John Wayne does give blowjobs. He's a ghost. He gave me one last night. Come in my room. Ghost blowjob, just like in Ghostbusters. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Another caller, another week confirming that John Wayne was closeted.
Yeah.
So a couple episodes ago, Leroy, we had a caller call in and say that her friend's husband got divorced because his wife came in and saw John Wayne giving him a blowjob.
Nice.
And so we confirmed that rumor. Multiple callers have called in to confirm that rumor.
That their grandmothers, in fact, had a similar story to tell. Or their great aunt in some cases. But a lot of grandmothers are whispering about this for a long time now.
Yeah.
It's more disturbing that he's a homewrecker than...
Yeah.
Terrible
like
person. That's upsetting.
Oh, also, like Mike Gams thought there's a conspiracy. I didn't think there's a conspiracy. I think the government's as dumb as we are. Like we tell they get their cues from us. That's pretty much what I believe.
But, speaking of conspiracies, I do have one more call. I just realized I have this one last call I wanted to play. This is really fascinating. And on that conspiracy note, I want to play this because someone called in to talk about the oil pipeline leaks that happen, like the Keystone XL pipeline that they're trying to put through. And we talked about how there was a leak, an oil spill in Yellowstone National Park. That was in 2015, and I said, look it up, and they did, and they posted the articles, and they said, wow, we didn't know about this. It's buried. It's buried in the headlines. No one talked about this. This guy called in to talk about why these leaks occur, because I thought that was really weird that a leak would occur on land, because the complexity of putting a pipe on land is way, way lower than under the sea, where you would expect accidents to occur. But listen to this guy.
So the thing is with the pipelines and all the stuff that we've got going over all these lands or underwater and stuff like that, I have it on good authority because it's part of my fucking job to know this stuff, that all of the damage and all the leaks and all those things caused have been absolutely intentional. It's all been done for a reason against us. I'm not trying to sound like a crazy conspiracy theorist. I just know what I can have access to and what I can read the reports on. It's not good shit, and I honestly wish that everyone would just kind of take their safety into consideration. Think about what the state of the world is in. Think about, why people would want to damage the infrastructure like that to not only destabilize our economy, but also make us fight each other. Just some words for wisdom, some food for thought. Everyone stay safe. I love the show, and I want to keep listening to it. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Really interesting stuff. So he's essentially saying that these leaks that occur might be sabotage for the contractors. So the contractors can go in there and just fix them and then continually make jobs for them.
That's not what he said.
What did you get from that call?
He literally said the reason they want to destroy the infrastructure is so that we all fight amongst each other.
Well, that too. There's
what do you
multiple
mean that
reasons.
Too? Which is it? Do they want us to kill each other? Do they want to hire more contractors to build more shit?
No, but he also said it's also to make money.
Right, but what good is money if all of society is eating each other in the street?
Well, that's one.
Well, it's two
potential outcome
retarded points of view that contradict each other, so you got to pick one.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily. Because it all comes down to money, Rucka. Because if you destabilize society and you have the oil prices go up, guess what that does? It's more money.
Moron. What does money buy if money is only worth something in an orderly society?
Nobody's arguing that these people are smart, Rucka. They're just evil. That's the point.
It's also not necessarily destroying society. It's not taking us back to the Stone Age and all that. It's just having all of us keep busy fighting with each other while they're making the money, I think is
What are they going to do with that money if we're all eating each other? That's
Well,
the
hopefully
thing.
by then
all
we're
this
all-
is just a distrust of the company. That's all it is. We just but people need to pick one. Is it greedy government / big business lining their pockets with cash, or is it the government, aka the man, wanting us to fucking turn into cannibals? Like, which is it? It can't be both.
Well, it can.
No,
yes, it can, because you're presuming that they care about society and what happens to it. If they have that money,
if they're so selfish and they want to get rich at our expense and laugh while we fucking devour each other, then why do they want us to kill each other? What are they going to spend that money on if society no longer exists?
It's not
what
all
can
or
you
nothing.
buy with that money?
It's not all or nothing, Rucka. It's like Leroy was saying.
Shades of gray.
You can have society destabilized where it's profitable for you, but not.
How is it profitable if society's falling apart?
Look at what happened in Iraq when we invaded Iraq. It caused oil speculators to the price of oil went through the roof because there's turmoil in the Middle East, and that could potentially cause interruptions to the pipeline. And oil speculators make lots of money. That destabilize society, but not to the brink of collapse. Like there's a middle ground between complete anarchy and apocalypse.
All right, I'm not that familiar with Iraq, but I know that in order for those oil companies to spend the money, they need to have America exist and not turn into fucking The Walking Dead Part 2.
Right. There's a huge middle ground between apocalypse.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Alex Jones and his good friend, fucking whatever the other guy's name is, the fat one.
It's Alex.
You're Big Bones.
Oh,
he called himself that.
Wow.
Bad
He called
form.
himself
You didn't
that.
have to agree.
My bad.
Who is out?
I disagree with the statements I recently made. I agree completely with the callers. I love Domino's. I hate capitalism and the United States. I hope we are all soon eaten alive by one another in the name of equality. Thank you, Maddox, for bringing this caller to my attention. Let's move on to the debate.
There we go. That's what I like to hear.
He's a government.
A reasonable man, Rucka, I think.
Yeah.
I like that. Now we finally have this on video so people can see whether or not you're actually saying it. All right, moving on, though. Coming up at the end of the show, I've got some headlines as always, but joining me again is my first hand-on-staff moderator, Rucka Ali. Let's hear his buzzer. There it is. And Leroy Patterson, our guest this week. Let's hear his. There you go. And we got Mikey Bolts, Swagmaster in Chief. Wrong! There's Mikey's buzzer. If any of these fine gentlemen hear anything they disagree with throughout this episode, if I say something wrong, if they just want to chime in, if they want to cut each other off, you know what? Let's just open it up. You're going to hear these buzzers. But moving on to the debate. Recently, a man named Steve Stevens broadcast a live video to Facebook titled Easter Day Slaughter, in which he filmed himself shooting a 74-year-old man named Robert Godwin point blank as it was being published live to Facebook. And by the way, guys, let me tell you this. If you haven't seen this video, don't watch it. It's as awful as it sounds, probably a little bit worse than you can imagine. It's just sad, and you see this poor guy, Robert Godwin, the 74-year-old man, who just looks like the kindest soul. You see this guy, and you see people sometimes, and you think that they look like nice people, and you can tell someone looks nice. This guy was one of those dudes. It's very, very tragic. Don't look up the video. But many people were outraged, and op-ed pieces were published everywhere, from the New York Times, Washington Post, Time, and just about every major newspaper. It took Facebook 2 hours to take it down. 2 hours. And by then, it had racked up over 150,000 views. And by the way, we should mention that these are Facebook views, so realistically, probably about 25,000.
Yeah.
According to Time, this isn't the first time this happened, actually. In February, a 19-year-old Marina Lonina was sentenced to 9 months in prison after pleading guilty to obstructing justice after she live-streamed her 17-year-old friend getting raped by a man last year using the social media app Periscope. She didn't call 911 because she was documenting the crime with her cell phone. So this is something that's becoming a problem. And this is here's a clip of what Mark Zuckerberg said. This is from NPR. And they interviewed a Stanford professor about this. Really interesting debate. But listen to this clip from NPR.
We will keep doing all we can to prevent tragedies like this from happening.
But what more can Facebook do? It's in a complicated position. On the one hand, its users want to be free to express themselves, and yet they do want some protection. Daphne Keller is a law professor at Stanford University.
Half the time it's, oh no, Facebook didn't take something down, and we think that's terrible, they should have taken it down. And the other half of the time is, oh no, Facebook took something down and we wish they hadn't.
For example, last year there was outrage when Facebook took down a post of an iconic Vietnam War photo of a naked girl running from a napalm attack.
So that leads us to the debate this week, because Facebook and some of these large media companies can do something about this to algorithmically prevent this stuff from appearing. And what that means, for people who aren't familiar, algorithmically means just that a computer program or artificial intelligence, something will try to scan whatever you're posting, detect any kind of inappropriate content like live murders, that sort of thing, suicides, and try to prevent it from appearing in the feed. Now, that's going to be the debate this week. Should we allow algorithmic censorship? This is your chance to vote on the topic before you listen to the debate. Madcastmedia.com. We're going to do a before and after and see what you guys think if we persuade your opinion one way or the other. Leroy, as our guest this week, I want to give you first stab at a side of the debate. Do you think that we should allow algorithmic censorship or not?
I'm against it.
You're against it?
In its current state, I'm against it.
Okay, why is that?
I don't think it's smart enough yet to be able to filter out. It's too much of like a shotgun blast when more like medical,
scalpel.
Precision, like a scalpel.
You need a scalpel rather than a
really
shotgun.
just quickly take it out instead of like, oh, that could be bad. Blam, it's gone.
Okay, all right.
I think it's too much of a censorship that I'm comfortable with.
Okay, it's too much censorship potentially, but what is the fallout of having these videos come out on stream and having millions potentially of people watching a live suicide happen or a rape occur, these horrific crimes,
right,
or a point blank murder of this man? could it embolden other people, copycat people, because they see this happening? These videos get lots of views. It racks it up. Mike, you're nodding yes. What do you think?
I think it looks like you don't have a grasp on your platform.
Yeah, you don't have a grasp on it. Get your shit together, Mark Zuckerberg.
Are we talking about Facebook deleting shit or just hiding it in the algorithm?
If you hide it or delete it, I think functionally it's the same thing, isn't it?
Sort of, but I mean, deleting it is like taking a stand, saying like this cannot be on our website. Hiding it algorithmically is basically what Facebook already does, which is if you don't give them money to promote it, to boost it, nobody will ever see it. Well, I swear to God, Facebook literally will not let anyone see your post until you pay them.
That is an interesting point Rucka just brought up, and we're going to talk about that at length because it's really it's essentially what they're already doing. They're already doing algorithmic censorship, and they are preventing you from seeing certain content unless the content creators pay for that. Now, they can potentially do that with these type of live events, and you're saying it may be too much censorship, but the fallout of it, if it emboldens copycat criminals, if it emboldens people to commit suicide and they want that glory, they want to go out in glorified on social media, having this clip go viral, I'm afraid what's coming is going to be worse. Because after Columbine, the Columbine shooting in America, it seemed like you just had this precipitous moment in school shootings that happened because it was sensationalized. So many people saw this, so many people heard about it, and it became a thing. It became part of our lexicon. And that wasn't, it wasn't unprecedented before, but that type of attention was unprecedented. And now we have that occurring again. Is the risk of this emboldening other copycat criminals greater than the risk of censoring some pieces of content that you might want to post on there? What do you think?
I just fear that if you give someone too much control over something like that, one, you never get it back. It's incredibly unfortunate that these things happen.
Well, they have complete control anyway now, don't
Right.
Who are we giving? Who's giving control to who over what in this statement?
Facebook and whoever it could be used to censor protests or anything that doesn't quite fit with what they're wanting. I think that a lot of unfortunate things can happen and have so far.
Name one unfortunate thing.
Well, like the shooting.
Okay, that checks out.
No, when you say like
if
you give them control over something, you don't get it back. Like who's give Facebook control? Give the shooter control?
No. Yeah,
Facebook.
I'm sorry.
So do you like Maddox believe that Facebook is public property and they should Facebook doesn't own themselves?
No, I think.
Okay, my opinion is more nuanced than that. But go on, Leroy. What are you gonna say?
No, I think while they do have the right to remove whatever they want but doing it through an algorithm, it gives too much opportunity for non-offensive stuff to get held back as well.
Well, here's the thing, though, Leroy. Have you ever been browsing Facebook and all of a sudden you see this ad pop up that is so fucking targeted to you?
Oh yeah.
It's like, hey, do you need brown beard dye? It's like, yes. How the fuck do you know I need brown beard dye, assholes?
Yeah.
And then, like, for example, it happened to me. There's been a few times in my life where ads were so targeted to me that it worked immediately, and I bought exactly the product they're paying to advertise. One of them, there's this game on PlayStation I think it was PlayStation 2 called Katamari Damacy.
Yeah.
Katamari Damacy, and it's this game where you roll this giant ball, blah blah blah. There's a character in the game called the King of Cosmos. Huge fan of it. I saw this pillow show up in my newsfeed. It's like, here's a King of Cosmos pillow. I'm like, holy fuck, I need this right now. I don't care what the price is. I clicked on it. Whatever. I didn't even look at the price. I just add to my shopping cart, purchase. That was the most effective ad. It hit me in all the right spots at the right time, and I wanted it so bad, and I ordered it, and I'm happy with it. I love this product.
Nightmare.
Which I'm totally okay with using it for advertising. I'd rather see stuff that pertains to me than stuff that doesn't.
Well, the point is, Leroy, all right, that they're getting so good at targeting specifically these niche things, right? That I think that the censorship argument can be diminished. You might get some false positives, but the overall benefit is you avoid glorifying this kind of bullshit. So maybe algorithmic censorship is the way to go.
I see what you're saying. For sure.
What do you mean? How does this type of violent shit get hidden?
Well, I'm saying that the algorithmic censorship, Leroy's argument was that it's not good enough. It might get too many false positives and lead to censorship. And my argument is that they're getting really good at it, and we're going to get to a point, like technology is only going to get better.
Eventually it'll get there for sure.
I think so.
Yeah. It just right now, this moment, no. I don't think we're quite there yet.
Does that address your...
we're a little bit all over the place. But okay, so we're debating if Facebook should be using algorithmic censorship.
Yeah.
Okay.
To prevent things like the shooting and...
From being seen?
From being seen and published and broadcast, yeah. Because this outraged a lot of people. People really upset that this first of all, that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say, Mike?
Let me say that I think they can use transcripts from what the person in the video is saying just as triggers alone, no pun intended, because they would have, thank you, they would have known that the guy was saying, I'm going to kill somebody, I'm going to kill this dude right here, this old guy right here. If there was a way to like transcript some way of, I don't think it's that hard to do.
What if it's a movie trailer, or if it's something, if it's a play.
I think if you're on
sketch,
I think if you're in a live video in front of X amount of people, there should be standards because you can do anything.
Right. Well, then, Mikey, that leads to, should we allow live acts to occur? Should we allow anyone to do anything live? Like, should we not let people go to like the Hollywood Walk of Fame and like do anything live? Because people are also watching that. Should we then just have like a filter on reality and just prevent people from...
Are we, when you say we, do you mean like by law, or do you mean should Facebook censor it?
Facebook censor life.
Okay, I like how you're referring to yourself as Facebook. Like you've already in your mind decided that like you own Facebook and you make we collective.
We are all
we,
Facebook,
aka you, decide what Facebook need to do with their own website.
I mean, look, man, we're not going to go down this rabbit hole.
Well,
but
we're talking about somebody getting on Facebook and murdering somebody, and like obviously it should be illegal, right? It's murder. I feel like broadcasting a murder over the internet should be illegal no matter which website it's on. Am I missing something here?
Well, first of all,
we're talking about algorithm. Like, what are we talking about algorithm when it comes to murder of murder video?
Well, that's an interesting point, Rucka. In that NPR article that I quoted earlier, that I played that clip from, they went on to discuss this, and I think that Stanford professor said that it's not illegal to broadcast a murder. So Facebook, just by doing this, they didn't do anything wrong. The crime itself is illegal, but the broadcast of the crime is not. Because if it were, think about it. There would be no news coverage. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't be able to show
Bud Wire. You know, it's been happening since
I've
then.
never seen a murder on the news.
You don't have to, but I'm talking about crime. Broadcasting crimes is not illegal. If it was, you wouldn't be able to even show someone running a red light. That's a crime.
Yeah, but I'm talking about murder. Like when you shoot a movie, like you're not allowed to hurt or kill animals. Like
Correct.
Even if an actor like kills a mosquito, they can't use that footage.
I don't think that's a law. I think that's the
MC. Like bugs and fish, I think.
They probably choose not
to.
Oh.
It is a law, Leroy?
No, I think bugs and fish are allowed. I could be wrong.
Oh, bugs and fish? Yeah, but I don't think that it's illegal to broadcast that, because there's that movie, Cannibal Holocaust. I think that's the movie. It's Cannibal Holocaust, where they did kill animals, and that's why they outlawed this. It's not outlawed, but there was huge outrage and backlash. And that movie is still available. You can buy that movie today, even though they did kill animals in that movie. And that's why that footage is forbidden. And people say, okay, no more. We're not going to kill animals in film. But broadcasting a crime is not illegal. The crime itself is illegal.
Okay, so why is this debate about the algorithmic versus just Facebook deleting it altogether?
Well, because algorithmically, like Leroy was saying, is it could potentially have too many false positives. Now, here's the problem by not having algorithmic. The cost of human monitoring, right, could be astronomical, and it could be cost prohibitive, and it could stifle growth on the platform. So Facebook and Twitter and all these companies, Snapchat, if they had to invest in human resources to monitor these feeds to make sure that we don't have any false positives, well, then, first of all, you're relying on the personal experiences of that censor. And then you're going to have basically, what do they call it in Russia? The censorship board? The czar of censorship, essentially, right? Something like that?
I don't know. Whatever it is you're trying to bring over here is what they call it. But by the way, what's a false positive?
A false positive is, like when Mikey was talking earlier about having a transcript being read in real time and scanned for certain keywords, like I'm going to kill this person. Just now, what I said, that sentence could trigger that transcript. And this is a podcast where we're having a debate about that discussion.
So false positive is when certain words trigger the system to hide it or delete it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Something that's not offensive will be considered offensive and hidden from everyone.
False positive,
That's a
meaning
false
it's
positive.
not really what it appears to be. It's just out of context.
Yes.
So
Well,
like
on
the,
the
the
flip side-
system deletes it.
Right. On the flip side to that, you're going to need almost as many people to fix all the incorrect flags, and you're going to have content creators annoyed that they have to wait for this. It's the same thing with YouTube, where a video will go viral and then something, a false positive will hit on that video, and they'll lose out on all that viral video revenue.
Right.
And then by the time someone at YouTube finally gets back to them, who cares? Because now the video's gotten most of its views.
Right.
And they lose out on a lot of it. So like from a content creator perspective too,
Yeah.
it's kind of scary that if I made something with a gun, it could be triggered.
That's correct. Yeah. Now, I agree with that point. Leroy, you're doing a good job of this debate so far. All right.
I chose a hard side. I'll admit that.
You did. But I'm about to blow your ass out
Oh.
with this next argument. This is it, buddy. All right. You thought Papa John gave you diarrhea? Wait till you get this load. All right. Here's the argument that's going to sink this ship. Okay. That story I talked about at the beginning. In February of this year, that girl, Marina Lonina was her name.
Mm-hmm.
On Periscope, she videotaped her friend getting raped.
Horrible.
And she spent 9 months in prison for it, and she should,
Mm-hmm.
because she was essentially an accessory to that crime.
Sure.
But then you start to think about journalists and whether or not they are allowed to report on a crime and show a crime without calling 911. The reason she cited in court that she didn't call 911 is because she was using her cell phone to record the footage. So if she stopped recording the footage, she gets rid of evidence of the crime. So she did the assessment in her mind. This is, I guess, the argument that was made, and she continued recording rather than call the police. So that's a difficult decision. Now, if we have algorithmic censorship, okay, and I think part of the reason, I think the attorneys argued that the reason she did this was because she wanted the views, she wanted the live hits, she wanted the attention, she wanted to be glorified for catching this crime on film or whatever, and not calling the police. She wanted that, right? We are giving people dopamine hits. Dopamine is the chemical that's released in your mind when you feel satisfied, right? It's the reward trigger.
Triggered.
And she felt that when she was recording this crime. So if we have algorithmic censorship, and she knows well ahead of time that whatever crime or crappy thing that she's recording, that she's going to live broadcast, is going to be censored anyway, it may encourage people like her to call the police next time rather than record a rape. What do you think of that, Leroy?
It's a tough one. It's
That's
a gray
right.
area.
I thought the reason she was
blew your ass out.
The reason she was
I'll get you a new
videotaping
chair.
it was so it'd be evidence, right?
Well, that was an argument that was made unsuccessfully. I think her attorneys may have tried to argue that it was evidence, but that wasn't the reason. It sounded like, I think, in court. I mean, she eventually got convicted as an accessory and spent time in court. I don't know the full details of it, but that argument could be made that you were trying to record evidence. But then again, I think, is it more important to record evidence of a crime occurring or to try to stop it?
Well,
What's
thanks
more
to
important?
Apple's new multitasking feature, you don't have to choose, Maddox.
You know
so
what?
technically,
You know what, Mikey? Samsung phones have had that shit for years, and you get no credit. LG has split screen. You can call the police and record for evidence. All right.
By the way, like, I'm not saying everybody needs to be a hero, but like, if you see somebody getting raped, like, don't you want to kind of intervene in some capacity?
Step in and stop
Like,
it,
at least
right.
push them off, and
yeah,
I don't know, like, just kind of standing there deciding between calling the cops and videotaping it.
Yeah.
Was this like fucking Mr. T raping somebody? Because if it was, like, he should be arrested. I'm
Well,
not like.
I'm going to tell you an interesting experience that I had on Periscope. I don't really use Periscope anymore, but it was really disturbing one night. And I kind of saw this like horrible new world we're going in. This guy on Periscope was broadcasting this chick in like various states of undress, and she seemed either really drunk or on the verge of passing out, maybe too tired. And he kept like, lifting her shirt and stuff, and she had her bra on, whatever. And people were, so there were a lot of creeps in there who were like, yeah, man, take her top off. I'm like, no, don't fucking take her top off. She looks like she's on the verge of passing out.
Yeah.
That's sexual assault, fuckface. And I reported it.
Okay.
The stream went dead, and I assumed that someone had taken action. Not so. That was not the case, because a few minutes later, stream came back up. Same guy, and he's like, hey, I'm going to take her top off. And I'm like, dude, she looks like she's about to pass out. Don't fucking take her top off.
Right.
So I took a screenshot of this guy's face. I tried to look at his map, like his GPS, whatever, tried to find out where he was.
Right.
Find out this guy's location to try to call the police on this guy. And I couldn't find it. It was very difficult. I even took a screenshot of his face as close up as I could and did an Google image search to try to ID this guy.
Yeah.
Couldn't find this guy's info. The stream went dead again because I reported it. And I think at this point, like, multiple people were starting to report this guy.
Right.
And the stream went dead, but then it came back up a few minutes later. And then he started to take her bra off. I'm like, fuck this guy. Fuck you. And then she kind of like started to stir and awake. And I wasn't sure if it was like, if she was in on it or what was going on, but it was really disturbing. Yeah, really fucked up. I didn't like anything that happened. And the argument against, now this is another argument that's going to blow your ass out, Leroy, but the argument against algorithmic censorship is that humans, they don't even have to hire humans to do this monitoring. They can have real citizens like me watching this stuff and reporting it. But I did that. I did my due diligence. I went above and beyond. I don't think anyone watching that stream was trying to do what I was doing. Take him down, like to the level that I did. I'm a fucking hero. I'm a RoboCop.
Right.
Robo-Maddox. So anyway, so I saw this thing happening. It was disturbing, and I tried to report it. It didn't work. So we may need algorithmic censorship because when you try to do the right thing, and it still doesn't work, it may be too late. You know, even just trying, I went above and beyond trying to track this guy down, and I couldn't get the police involved fast enough. So we may be to the point where it's past. We can't police everyone.
That's true.
As the internet grows and the amount of people who are using it and broadcasting live journalism, live material like this, it's not even journalism, just live events, it's a problem that we may need policing for.
So the argument is, if it's hidden algorithmically, the guy won't have incentive to broadcast it to begin with?
Yeah, maybe he was doing it for attention.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's not going to prevent all rapes or all sexual assaults, but if it prevents some percentage of those, the guys who are doing it to glorify it and for percentage for
I mean, alternately, the fact that it was broadcast allows his crime to be witnessed, and therefore people can report it the best they can. People see it. Like the guy's kind of telling on himself by broadcasting it. So in a way, having criminals seen on Facebook and Periscope is in a way going to help catch them, right?
Yeah, but you're avoiding the argument that I made, which is that crime may not have occurred if it wasn't incentivized by attention.
Oh.
That's true. What you said is true of the crimes that were going to necessarily occur. If that rape was going to occur, whether he was recording it or not, it's better that it's recorded, so we have evidence, right?
I mean, it feels like this is turning into the movie Minority Report, where like we're trying to solve crimes before they occur and arrest people. It's like I don't know, I don't know who's gonna do what. I can't predict the future. I can say if somebody's it's like when those kids in Chicago. I mean, they were. I hate to even call them kids because that's what that was used as an excuse for their behavior. When those guys in Chicago kidnapped the mentally ill guy and tortured him.
Yeah.
Like somebody was like, people were saying like, oh, it's so stupid that they live stream it. What a stupid move. And I was just kind of like, I'm kind of glad they streamed it so that they're caught, so that this kid was saved. What if it was just 4 crazy people abusing somebody for days on end? They might have just killed him altogether.
So Rucka is leading us to a really interesting point in this debate, Leroy. Do you have? Because I have a real strong argument on your side of the debate that could sink my battleship here. It
blow
won't.
Your ass.
But it's not gonna blow out my ass, Leroy.
Okay.
My ass is made of steel.
Get some of that Papa John's.
Chrome plated. Yeah.
We'll talk.
It may even be able to digest that bullshit. But what other arguments do you want to make about this? You're saying that algorithmic censorship is bad. We should not do it, right?
In its current state, yes.
In its current state. Okay. Do you have any other arguments?
I do think that in even the near future, it will be good enough to where it's not going to have as many false positives. It's a tough debate because I'm sure there are a number of people who wouldn't have done those acts had they not had an audience. But I also think that a large number of the people who do have an audience would have still done that act, and we would have had no evidence to prosecute them.
Okay, well, there you go. Leroy, you basically got to the gist of the counter argument I had against me. You know what? We're going to do this. We're going to talk about the other side of the debate here. Because I do want to talk about this. This is an argument I had down. It could tip off police and investigators to where a crime is happening. Okay, so if you have algorithmic censorship, Rucka was kind of bringing this up, is that it either hides or deletes, which is functionally the same. Mm-hmm. If it hides that footage from your newsfeed, right? Then that video is quietly removed or censored, and crime investigators might not know that evidence of the crime even exists. So if that crime occurs and that person is caught, if they're trying to prosecute that person, it'd be really convenient to have that footage, wouldn't it? But if they don't even know it exists, if it's just algorithmically stored away in a database somewhere, no one ever sees it. Well, what the fuck is the point? So that's an argument for your side, and you basically hit it. I got one more though, Leroy. You got anything else? Because I got one more. This might be the one.
One thing that I worry too is that it would allow people. Okay, let's say something like the Black Lives Matter movement is censored. Something happens, some event happens, and then Facebook deems them offensive,
right?
And so all of that is blocked out, and it continues to block stuff that Facebook may not agree with anymore, and politically or socially.
Yeah.
And so it creates its own echo chamber of the narrative that it wants to put out.
Correct.
Is my concern too.
That
Eventually
it could have a chilling effect on free speech. So not just Black Lives Matter. Let's say there's a Milo Yiannopoulos event, right?
Yeah.
Or Ann Coulter was recently going to speak at Berkeley, and I think she just got allowed again to speak it there. But if they then target certain things as hate speech, right, or speech that may incite violence, then you're definitely going down the path of censorship.
Yeah.
What did you want to say, Rucka?
Just on the topic of so I think the internet, like Facebook and YouTube, used to be much more just like a free for all. Like whatever people chose to watch and share got more views, and then what didn't. They were like the algorithm didn't play that big of a role. And like I wonder if good friend of the show Tim Pool, like would he have ever blown up in today's environment? Like would his Periscope stream get buried by the algorithm because it had to do with protests and violence?
That's an interesting question, because Tim Pool is is like a forefront of citizen journalism, and he's actually become since a legit journalist. He's like, that's his job. That's what he does. He created Vice News. That's an interesting,
Well, he helped create it.
He helped create it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, it basically led to the creation of Vice News. What he did, but and by the way, guys, I just did a live stream with Tim Pool a couple days ago, and we did our first ever pilot broadcast of a live show. This is something we've been wanting to do for a while now. I'll post it on the website because it was our pilot. It was our very first time doing this. The first couple minutes, we have some technical difficulties figuring the audio out, so you can skip ahead, but. Check it out. Let us know what you think of that. And we're recording this episode as well. We're recording our first ever video footage of a taping. That's right, including you, Leroy.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone.
Feels kind of weird, not gonna lie. Like feels weird. Like it's like it's different. But like I think if we choose to stick with this, we can get I can get used to it and like get used to it. Like right now, it's a little bit like. Something's a little bit different.
You feel like little skeezers?
A little bit like little skeezers is watching. Like Mike Ilitch is gonna make me drive downtown and interrogate me for 45 minutes until I admit to leaving out the back door.
That's crazy.
Admit you rolled your eyes. Admit it.
I think Little Skeezers was in like Fortune 500 as one of the worst companies to work for.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Shitty pizza.
By the way, rest your soul, Mike Ilitch. We miss you very much. Detroit loves you. You own the Red Wings and the Tigers and the Lions and
Bears.
Oh my. But your pizza shop has always been, or has mostly always been, they might have been okay before the hot and sloppy, cold and old $5 deal. But Lil Skeezers in the 2000s and beyond is a shit company, and I'm sorry if that means we're now going to get buried by the algorithm because YouTube has always been in the pocket of big shitty pizza.
Be careful not to lump Domino's into that because it's not shitty.
No, Domino's runs YouTube. Make no mistake.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But one other point, back to the debate. I'm moderating the moderator here. Back to the debate. Back to the debate.
Yeah.
Leroy, one argument that was just low-hanging fruit that you didn't pick up off the ground, it was basically touching the ground, buddy, is because they mention it in that NPR piece, which is it can't detect historical context or newsworthiness of an image. So that Vietnamese image that Vietnamese photo, although you did talk about false positives, so I guess I'll give you a pass on that. And then here is one last argument that you could have used to sink my battleship. One torpedo. This is a silver torpedo to my werewolf battleship. Think about that analogy. But here's one. Listen to this. Do we want our communication platforms to have computerized surveillance? And if so, should we have to extend that to other communication platforms like the telephone or even journalism? So if we're suddenly saying, okay, Facebook should have the responsibility, and maybe even it should be a law to have algorithmic censorship, why not phone calls? Because you could hear a crime, you could witness a crime happening over the phone, you could hear a rape, you could hear a murder happening. Why is video footage? Why are we having a double standard for video footage?
Or security cameras.
There you go. Should security cameras censor the shit? Or is it only if it's broadcast in a wide medium? And if it's broadcast, if that's the test on whether or not we should censor crimes for being broadcast, what about news? Do we then have to hold news to that same standard? If a newscaster catches a crime on camera and they don't call 911, are they then culpable like this girl was who broadcast the rape on Periscope? And again, I don't know all the details of that. But if a news broadcaster records a crime happening, I don't think I've ever heard of a case where they recorded the crime happening and the journalist went to jail for not calling 911. Because it's presumed that that's their job, and nobody says that's illegal, and nobody suggests that there should be any kind of algorithmic censorship to the news or to telephones or to any other broadcast medium. So there you go. Those are the arguments. I think we did a damn good job of this debate. I want to hear what you guys think now, listening to this debate before and after, because I think there was a lot of compelling cases made on both sides of the debate.
It's tough. It's a gray area.
Yeah, great job on this debate.
Who knew wrestlers were so well spoken, though? Not me.
I'm telling you, Leroy's a smart guy. Leroy is like jack of all trades, real smart guy. But speaking of smart guys, Rocka, do you have a wrap up for us?
Oh, yeah, I guess I'd better. Okay, I already got the Little Caesars rant out of my system.
Yeah,
okay, Facebook, listen.
Critically acclaimed wrap up.
It is. It's the Rocka wrap up.
I kind of touched on this earlier, but Mark Zuckerberg, you really are just a pathetic human being, okay? I saw that movie about your life with Justin Timberlake. Oh, yeah, the guy from Napster gave you the idea to call it Facebook instead of the Facebook. When are we going to make a movie about the time me and Maddox met at a pool party and said, hey, dude, what's your name? What are you doing later? Oh, yeah, cool. And, I think Mikey Boltz was at that same party.
I think so, too. This is an interesting...
We didn't know him yet.
Yeah,
I didn't know you didn't know me, and we didn't know him. And
which party was it?
It was at Full Screen at VidCon like 2 years ago.
Pool party at VidCon 2015.
And we heard you were there, too.
I was.
So at one point, all three of us were in the same room together, and we didn't know that fate would bring us together and we'd be doing a weekly podcast again.
And there's an old picture of the Kurt Cobain and the bass player from Nirvana sitting, posing for a picture, and off to the side, Dave Grohl is sitting looking in a different direction, and they didn't know each other yet.
Wow.
There's an old picture of them. That's kind of like...
That's dope. Was that at VidCon too?
Yeah, that was at VidCon in 1981,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
the best VidCon yet, to be honest. I mean, it hasn't been the same since. Anyway, so Mark Zuckerberg, like, what the fuck? You're just such a... Like, that movie, dude, you have no game with that one girl. You got mad and you went off to create the biggest website ever to get revenge and show her that you are good enough, and she still doesn't like you. And look, I get it. Like, my whole entire career has been driven by rejection. I understand. Where would Maddox be if girls were into him? I understand, dude. But, dude, it's like you had the good thing going for you. Facebook was completely overtaking Twitter. Like, people were flocking to Facebook with the new video feature. People that had given up on Facebook, that were calling it antiquated, were coming back to it. It was the new YouTube, the new video, the new Periscope, the new video this, the new picture place, the new place to connect. And then what? You decided like a fucking moron, the only way people should have their shit seen is if they pay us. You want content creators to pay you? Are you so fucking stupid? Is that in your little fucking open letter you wrote to your newborn daughter? What's her name? Max? Who names their daughter Max? Or is it Alex? Who names their daughter that and then fucking writes an open letter? Oh, dear daughter, we want you to be a good citizen of the earth and treat everybody with respect. Are you treating your fucking customers and your clients with respect? Fucking content creators? People who bitch about YouTube treating content creators like shit. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg treats us like garbage. Dude, I don't... Like, why would anyone want anything to do with Facebook at this point in time, dude? It's such fucking garbage. You need to pay them to have your shit seen. You pay Facebook. You're bringing them content. You're bringing an audience to their shit website, and then they want you to pay them to have your shit seen. And somebody's gonna say, "Oh, Rucka, you're paying them to boost it. You're paying them to promote." No. You're literally paying them to bring it up to an even playing field. They will actively hide your content. Facebook, let me be very clear, Facebook prevents anyone from seeing your content unless you give Facebook money. They used to have words for that, phrase for that, a name for that in the days of Al Capone.
Yeah.
You know, they used to have words for that back in the glory days of the Armenian mafia. But now they just call it boosting your content on Facebook. So thank you, Mark Zuckerberg. You now have a lovely place alongside Mike Ilitch in the annals of a wonderful businessman who had it all going for them and decided to ruin their product because Little Caesars at one point in time was actually giving us decent pizza, and someone had the brilliant idea to throw it all away. So thank you, Mike Ilitch, and thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, and thank you, Maddox, for allowing me to deliver that wonderful wrap-up.
It's a Rucker wrap-up.
Yeah.
I like Facebook. I still use it a lot.
Leroy, get out of here. We're shitting on this. This is the part of the show we shit on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Facebook.
We'll get to the liking Facebook.
I found a way around the algorithm, so it's cool. I could promote my shit.
All right,
now.
we're going to talk.
Yeah, I need help with this, guys.
Yeah. Well, EdgeRank is a bitch, and there are ways around it if you're smart. But yeah, we're
like I said,
talk.
I need help with this.
Yeah. All right, but moving on, guys, we should get to some headlines from around the web. Listen to this. Have you guys heard this story? This is from BBC. Thai police arrested a man for smuggling semen into Laos. Did you guys hear about this?
Lao?
It's Laos. Is it Lao?
Lao, I think.
Lao.
The S is silent.
Is it? Laos?
Right?
Lao.
I'm thinking of Tropic Thunder now, so I don't know the real one.
Well, the people are Laotian.
Laos.
It's Laos.
Everything's Asian.
No,
Laotian.
Haitian.
Laotian.
Yeah, but not every country that ends in Asian is Asian, like Croatian.
All right, okay. What happened in Laos?
Hero. Anyway, authorities found a nitrogen tank containing the vials in a man's bag when he was crossing into the border from the northern Thai town of Nong Khai. Police said the man confessed that the semen was bound for a fertility clinic in the capital of Laos, Vientiane. I don't know. I've never said that word in my life. Laos has seen a boom in commercial surrogacy after neighboring Thailand and Cambodia banned the practice. So in Thailand, I didn't know this. In Thailand and Cambodia, you can't do commercial surrogacy because I think there was a huge problem with sex trafficking or something like that. So the semen was collected from Chinese and Vietnamese men. How about that?
That's a lousy situation right there.
Oh, jeez. Leroy, you get a ding and a boo.
I'll take it.
Anyway, yeah, they collected this cum from Chinese and Vietnamese. Those Vietnamese guys. Oh man.
By the way,
how's that news? Like, what is that? Like, what is?
How's
like
that
when they're like put? That's just
Mikey. If someone stole your jizz and was trying to sell it to in
Wait,
Thailand,
it was stolen?
You don't think? Well, he was smuggling it. Why would he have to smuggle? Oh, I guess because the practice is banned.
I get that it's news.
Yeah.
How is it news?
How is it news?
I get it.
It's in BBC. It's news, man. If it's in BBC, it's news.
No, I believe you.
What's your question?
That's insane.
Swagmaster, tell me, what's your question?
Who's stealing? Okay, I'm done.
Okay, maybe the cum wasn't stolen. Maybe it was volunteered.
Okay.
But it's being sold illegally. It's illegal jizz, guys.
What makes jizz legal and illegal?
Lots of things, actually.
Yeah, that's for...
I need to have mine tested.
That takes
Make sure it's all legal.
That's a couple semesters of law school.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't want to like lose our Laotian audience or anything. We're thankful to have them, but like the capital of Laos, what is that, like the most filthy street corner of East Hollywood? Like what's the capital of Laos look like? Just like a fucking like a bunch of cardboard boxes stacked over each other.
Oh my gosh. I bet it's beautiful. The capital of almost every major city, the capital looks pretty
usually,
decent.
yeah. I'm probably the crazy dictator despot in charge of that wonderful country. Probably built himself a palace.
Yeah, they probably did. You know what? The one exception is the capital of California is Sacramento, and it's pretty much a shithole.
Hey,
dickhead. Are you from Sacktown, Mikey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
like Sacramento?
You son of a. Yes, and my parents who currently reside there enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Like, here's what I mean by that. It's boring. All right. That you like boring though, Mikey.
It's getting good.
Oh yeah, what's good? What's good about it? Tell me
I
what's good
look
about
forward to the rest of my life just
retiring,
convincing myself that Sacramento's getting there,
Rucka?
and then on my deathbed.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mikey. We are in agreement here. You're basically telling me the same thing I just told you, which is it's boring. So
we're happy to have our Sacramentian audience. We are going to be doing a live show in Sacramento. Keep an eye out for that. We'll be letting the audience decide.
Yeah, hopefully we can
vote on that.
If we can find a venue open past 8 p.m., we'll definitely.
Hey, should we have audience vote on Sacramento?
We could do that. Yeah,
let's vote on Sacramento.
Well, I don't think our international that gay Japanese man doesn't know jack shit about Sacramento. I'm sure,
or pizza.
Oh my
he doesn't.
God.
Wrong, Rucka. He knows about pizza. How dare you?
All right, we're happy to have all of our Japanese fan.
That is the first time we've had a caller from Japan, though. But anyway, back to the story. The smuggler was a Thai national who told police he had done 12 similar trips in the past where he would collect semen from Bangkok clinics. Bangkok clinics. Taking count. And then transport them to a clinic in Laos, reported the Bangkok Post newspaper. So this guy 12 times in his life. All right, if you had to document each day of your life, 12 times you'd have to document that you were carrying a bag of cum around.
I've got at least 15 under my belt so far.
You got 15 vials of cum under your belt right now?
No, I've done it 15 times.
Oh, you've done it 15 times?
Yeah. That guy's got to catch up.
Yeah.
Gotta get a hell yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another story, kind of related. This is from WLFI.com. Condom clogged pipes lead police to a Texas prostitution ring. Did you hear about this?
No.
They just found a pipe full of condoms. And they said, some detective was like, aha.
So these gentlemen are paying to have sex with a condom.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
It's a prostitution ring. I mean, prostitutes are high risk.
That's true.
Sexually.
I'm not arguing with that. It just occurred to me. So what happened? What were these? What was going on?
Police say they cracked an Austin prostitution ring they were led to by a drainage pipe clogged with condoms. The police affidavit filed Tuesday said that a realty company had just taken control of a shopping center property and grew suspicious of a tenant when they found hundreds of condoms clogging the waste disposal unit connecting the strip to the city sewer system. Now, here's the thing. If you really think about this news story, right? If you find hundreds of condoms clogging your sewage pipe, they think that that's a crime that might be occurring, and they're going to investigate you. That to me is offensive because I like to smash a lot, and that's like a normal week for me.
It's a teen practicing, you know?
Yeah, it could be a teen practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Teens today, condoms are more readily accessible. They don't have to use socks.
No,
they can just bust in a condom.
Yeah,
for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounded like no for no, exactly.
I feel bad for the plumber who is like, he finds the first one. He's like, oh, looks like someone was having fun. Mm-hmm. And then he finds the second and third and 50th. And so he's just like, I hate my job. I'm done with today. Can someone else take over?
All joking aside, why would you flush that shit? Why wouldn't you just throw it away? It reminds me of this guy, one of my longtime friends from back home in Utah. He's one of my best friends. I was his best man at his wedding, and almost everything he does annoys me. He's one of these people, and this is going to be another debate. I'm sure. I'm opening a can of worms here, but I don't like to put food down the food disposal. It's not meant for that. It's meant for peels, carrot peels, potato peels, like a little bit of rice grain and stuff like that. But people treat that shit like a fucking they take a bite of the burrito. Let's fucking jam that burrito.
A quarter, half of the pizza pie is the Domino's. Nobody wants this. Okay, we'll just stuff it down the
food disposal.
Yeah.
It's not meant for that, dipshits. Especially if the food is greasy because it fucking clogs that shit, morons. Don't put chicken grease down there. Don't put turkey grease down there.
Don't put the rest of the turkey from Thanksgiving and all the bones down.
People act like it's a food shredder. They just like put it in there and like paper, and then they're like, oh, why is it clogged? It's because you put eggshells, coffee grinds, all that bullshit doesn't belong in a food disposal, dipshits.
I've lived to agree with you, Maddox.
Amen.
I've pooped in it a few times.
Get out of here.
All right.
At least that shit probably. You said you always have diarrhea.
Yeah, it was nice. It was smooth.
It's runny. You're good. But the food disposal thing. So my friend in Utah, he never listens. Right? He came over to my house once, and he's like, we're gonna watch movies. Like, oh, I'm gonna make popcorn. I'm like, all right. And I told him, I'm like, don't use the popcorn button because it doesn't work on my microwave. And it's different. Like popcorn buttons almost never work. They keep saying, oh, the new sensors and the technology and this is gonna detect it. Pop it just right. It never fucking works. Just put it in for 2 minutes and you're done. He didn't listen to us. He puts the popcorn in and we start the movie, and he's in the kitchen for like 20 minutes, and we don't realize he's gone because like it's quiet and we're enjoying ourselves for once. So he's in the kitchen for 20 minutes, and I hear the food disposal going, and it's like 12, it's like midnight, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing running the food disposal at midnight, man? What are you doing in there? And I go in there, and his hand is down the drain, and he's punching popcorn into my fucking food disposal. And I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that, dipshit? First of all, it's greasy, and second, it's popcorn. It's not going to smell if you just throw it away. Just throw it away. It's a fucking bag full. You don't have to use water, electricity, mechanics, engineering to solve this problem. You just grab it and drop it over a bin, and you're done. I'm so fucking...
Throw it in the neighbor's backyard.
Yeah, throw it anywhere. You can compost it. Popcorn is the easiest thing to get rid of. Don't use your food disposal. You know what? I'm going to give myself one of these.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah. I gotta say thank you to Jesse PS from Pod Awful. That Rucka wrap-up drop is actually his voice from the first time he did it on this show. And he also suggested that Damn Son drop, which we've had a lot of fun with. So thank you, Jesse from Pod Awful. Check out Pod Awful, Cringe vs. Cringe, and Game Fart, the two other shows on this network. And we got a lot more coming. I've been so busy with the book that finally wrapped up, is available on Amazon. I'm going to link to it on our website. Check it out. I announced the title, the mailing list you can still sign up for. But enough plugging me. How about you, Leroy? Is there anything you'd like to plug before we go?
Yeah, sure. All right. Go to Giphy.com. We have a ton of great apps. A lot of cool stuff on the phone. Giphy Says we just released. It's awesome. We're on all the new Samsung phones. We're integrated into the Apple's messaging system. It's great. I'm in a music video where I'm dancing in my underwear for Scout Durwood's Take One Thing Off. It's releasing today, the day that this podcast goes up. Freak Show Wrestling on 4/29 in Vegas is going to be insane, and you need to be there.
April 29, you're doing Freak Show Wrestling. Now, that's what we talked about at the top of the show, where you wrestle tentacles and giant chickens.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds...
I'm in a dating game 4-way match where it's a guy and a girl combination. And we brawl, and there's some kind of dating game theme to it. It's going to be insane.
That sounds amazing.
It's going to be awesome.
I've seen screenshots. I've been meaning to come to one of these shows, but I've seen pictures. Screenshots. It's not a video game. But I've seen pictures of these events, and it looks so much fun. You guys got to check it. April 29th.
We'll have to get you involved on one of them.
I would love to.
Fun.
Holy shit. Hell yeah. This was, you said, in Vegas? April 29th?
Yeah, Las Vegas. It's right next to Fremont Street.
Oh, okay.
It's awesome.
Yeah, dude. That's where I recorded the game show we did at Fremont Street. Yeah, at the Plaza Hotel and Casino.
Yeah, it's right around there.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Insane.
So there you go, April 29th, and
then check out the Pack Theater. I perform there. I'm on multiple shows there. Dell Closed Fist, Jack Wrestling, Speed Face is a show that I do every month where I close out the show by doing some horrific stunt to myself, like staple gunning myself, or shock collar stuff, or jumping on thumbtacks, or whatever dumb thing I come up with that month.
So cool. And the Pack Theater is an amazing little theater in Los Angeles. It's so much fun to go to. Actually, Ruck and I, we just did a show there not too long ago. Yeah, we did. We did. I didn't get the drop in time. But we did a show where Rucka was essentially, we were doing a stand-up. Do you want to talk about that, Rucka?
Yeah, I guess. The topic, it was called The Line. Where where they decide, is this comedy going over the line?
Yeah.
And there was a panel of judges. Maddox, you were one of the judges. Yeah. I was one of the, quote, comedians. I don't really consider myself a comedian. I call myself more of a poet.
a comedy poet.
Why is everybody laughing? I don't know.
There you go.
I missed the joke. Anyway, yeah, it was fantastic. I had a panel of judges tell me if I went over the line or not. At one point, a nice young lady told me, I'm not really into, like, comedy music. It just feels like super white boy shit. But yeah, I can see how like a bunch of white guys would like your shit. And I'm like, oh, you mean like literally the entire audience here that was just laughing hysterically? All 99.8% of whom were white guys? Yeah, no, I think you're right. They probably would like it. And I had a great time. Thank you, Maddox, for judging me. And
that's what I do.
Had a great show. So yeah, catch us next time at Pack Theater. Every Friday night at 8 p.m. I'm joking. We're not going to be there this Friday.
It's not a consistent, but Leroy is there often. So look up Leroy at Pack Theater. We'll post the video with Scout that you're doing that's coming out the same day, and your work at Giphy and Las Vegas. Lots of stuff. Leroy, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on this episode. Thank you to Rucka Ali, my first hand on staff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Swagmaster Mikey Bolts.
Thank you.
But most of all, you're welcome.
Yeah, in episode 45, you guys were talking about Tarzan because of that Indian chick or whatever that was living out in the woods eating monkeys or whatever. And I was curious, Tarzan, was he a virgin when he met Jane, or was he like totally slamming monkey pussy the whole time until he met her? Thanks for listening. Bye.
Good question. When I heard that call, I laughed and I thought, that's silly. But then I actually thought about his question, and I thought, yeah, I've never thought about Tarzan being a virgin. And the first woman he's ever hooked up with, he lost his virginity to Jane. And Tarzan probably that guy who's smuggling that Thai cum probably busts real quick, and it was not very good sex for Jane. So Jane meets this guy in the jungle who's like hella ripped and looks, really cool. It's like jungle barbarian. And she's like, oh man, I'm going to have like the wildest fantasy sex with this guy ever. And he's just like a sloppy, nervous virgin who's
never showered.
He's never showered. He nuts real fast. It's like his growth is out of control.
Got, like dried semen all over his junk.
He's not cut.
Or it was crazy jungle CrossFit sex and she didn't expect it and he fucking busted that shit wide open.
Yeah.
And she exploded. And then his load literally made her like gain 5 pounds. I just want to provide both sides of the argument here on Madcast.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.